So, today, well, I basically found out about traffic cam footage of the Tajuana situation that we had been covering. And so then today I was like, I decided that I wanted to watch it. And I might be a little cavalier whenever I am watching it because of how entertained I am about certain things that were said on Tawana's part that I felt like really didn't look good for her. But and that really, certain things that she did or said that I feel made her case worse, where there could have been a situation in which it wasn't so bad for her. I feel she definitely escalated it. And so I kind of want to review that. And again, I'm against mass incarceration. I'm against the police, even against people I don't fucking like. There are certain situations in which I believe legal action needs to be taken, but I'm against our current kind of um, political system and justice system as a collective, um, based on the history of it. Um, and so, and what I mean by that is, my dad, he is Powhatan, we are indigenous descent. And so for us, everything about this current quote unquote justice system is just based on genocide and upholding genocide. It's not based on ethics. It's not based on human rights. It's not based on the good of everybody. Otherwise, we would have tribal sovereignty. In our ways, each tribe has different ways of handling these types of situations, but we do it differently, basically, in a nutshell. um, and we rely on teachings over law in a nutshell. I think that's a good way to sum it up. This is not to paint all tribes as a monolith that way. I'm just saying it's a rough summary of the difference between an indigenous way and the European way. They value law over teachings. We value teachings over law, in my opinion. But that's just my perspective. Other people could think differently. But yeah, so um, I think that with that construct too, though, like we still. So with that being said, we don't weaponize like this force rigid social structure bullshit way like the Europeans do. But what we do have certain ways of handling when certain things go wrong. And I'm not going to get into that, but I'm just saying it's not to say we don't have our own forms of social justice systems. They're just not the same, and I don't want to go into all of that because it's just not what this live is for. And some of it is also not my place to speak on. But anyway, um, so, but my point is, I am going to be making fun of this situation, but that doesn't mean, that, like, I just want to make it also clear, that I am against police brutality. I am against the police in general in this construct of the United States. I do believe in the concept of social justice, but I don't believe it's executed here. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I just woke up. Like, I'm still in my PJs. I brushed my teeth and I washed my face, but I haven't even done my hair, so I'm just gonna touch that up. And, like, we're just here. I'm drinking my morning coffee. But I just wanted to react to this because of the situations that we've seen with Tajuana. So, the first situation I covered, we showed legal documents. I believe she was found guilty of stolen $5,454, if I'm not mistaken, something around that number. And basically, from the Girk couple, she convinced them to let them stay in her home, and then she stole that money from them. And then the bank paid the couple back. So the court ruled that she did not have to pay the couple back because the bank did. So therefore, there was no reason for the restitution, is what the court ruled. And so she basically got away with it. I mean, I think she did go to jail for a second and have to go through the court system, but she didn't have to pay shit back. You know what I mean? Like, and even though she was found guilty. So yeah, so that was like part one. We mostly looked at that as well as other surrounding events around her legal experience as well. And in that live stream, I believe, is where I also initially went over the court records for the traffic cam footage we're going to watch today. And then in part two, we basically, what did I do in part two? I'm so sorry. I'm over here, I'm forgetting. Well, I'm confusing part 2 and part 3 right now. So I'm just gonna check real quick. Yes. Okay, so part 2 was when I looked into her family history. And for me, that just kind of helped me understand why she is the way she is with some of the way she treats people. And in part 3, I showed you the way she treats people. So now in part 4, we're going to see her reaction to accountability, and to going through the justice system in our current social construct. And I just kind of want to discuss that a little more. I've been arrested a few times, so like I'm sure if you looked into that, you could find some maybe I don't know actually, because Louisiana's kind of like not as organized on some of these things as Florida is, in my opinion. And so I don't know if like they may have documented mine or not. Maybe it is, and I'm just like not aware because I just haven't seen it. I don't know if you can see my videos or not because I've been arrested 3 times. I don't know if you can see any of the videos on me or not. But um, if you can, I'm sure you would maybe find reasons to make fun of me. I didn't act like this though. So I was like, I remember one of the times, um, I was basically like at my house and they came to arrest me, and so I was like, can I put on my shoes and get a jacket? Like I was trying to like get more comfy to go. I don't know. I was like, it's cold there. Let me take a jacket. Yeah. I was like, can I take a sweatshirt? Do I need to pull the strings out of the. I don't know. But so I had a bit of a different reaction. And then whenever I had my DUI, I actually called the police on myself. Because I just. Well, when I woke up from being blackout drunk, I realized what had happened. And I was just like, yeah, I mean. And I know. And I also realized I'm making fun of her for not acting on the right to self incriminate. But in my case, with her case, when I'm making fun of her for not self-incriminating, it pertains to weed, and I don't know if she would have necessarily, um, in that situation, have harmed anybody else for that particular situation, right? But so that's when I'm like, why would you self-incriminate on something that's not harming others? But for me, I had wrecked my car and other people's cars. I think actually just one car, and well, that doesn't make it better, but I don't know. You know what I mean, right? So, in my situation, when I woke up from being blackout drunk and I realized what I did and what had happened, I just called the police and I was like, yeah, that's what I did. Um, and like, I don't know. Yeah, because I just told them, and then I texted my mom and my sister, and I was like, I'm getting arrested right now. Their police are on the way. Can you meet me and bail me out? Oh, that's my alarm. Um, so like in that situation, like in every situation, I'm sure you could, if you found videos, you could probably make fun of me. So I'm not saying like I'm immune to this shit, but I am saying when you look at the other parts of the material that I covered on her, and then you look at this, um, it makes me wonder, like, does she understand the concept of like accountability for her own behavior? Because I don't know. I need to reflect on that more. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm spending longer talking about this video than the video actually is, because the video is only 9 minutes. So I'm gonna roll my intro, and then we're gonna get started. I just had to reflect on that, because I don't want to just go into this, like, because when you go, okay, I'm so sorry. When you go into this YouTube channel, the Body Cam Files or whatever, um, it's very pro police over there, and it just makes me very uncomfortable. So I don't like that I myself am engaging with this content on that side of this algorithm, because the people over there are, in my opinion, using vernacular in that comment section that, in my opinion, kind of upholds the colonial settler system and occupation of Turtle Island, and I'm more of somebody that I do better in places more focused on tribal sovereignty. So yeah. But anyway, okay, we're actually gonna roll this intro now. Hi, my name is Alexis, also known as Lexi or Deaf Child. I was born deaf, hard of hearing. I began doing business as Deaf Child 2013, marketing 2011, sales 2009. I've earned 50 plus certifications in marketing and sales. My Bachelor of Science from Loyola University, New Orleans, with a music industry studies major and a business administration minor. Deafness runs in my family genetically. Speech is not fully accessible to me. Anyway, I'm here to bitch about whatever the fuck is on my mind. So here we go. Visit my site at noladeafchild.com. Okay, so, and as per usual, if you want to watch this video without my commentary and long ass rambling, the original 9-minute video is linked in the description below. And also, I do not know how people found this video of her. I really don't, because that is like a needle in a haystack. Nothing in the SEO for this, like nothing in the description or the title or none of that supports or would lead to her. Like none of it mentions her name or nothing like that, you know? And so, yeah. For someone was saying, I bet you're really glad you're not on the police force in this backwards political climate. Um, like, what? I don't know. And then some of the, I don't know, like, what they meant by that, but I just feel like the way that they are, um, they're, I don't know. I just feel like where people are like massive respect to the police officers for not losing it with these mouth breathing human error messages. And when you look at like mass incarceration and the rates of who's arrested the most, and like when you look at like ICE detainment and things like of that nature, and this is how people, you know, I know in certain situations, you know, there are people that actually do need to go through some sort of rehabilitation justice system situation, like when it comes to how we move through society, right? But when you look at like the what the justice system gets used for and the statistics of these cases and the outcomes, you know, like you've got Brock Turner sexually assaulting women, and everybody's worried about only giving him like 6 months of problems because of what about his future. But needless to say, you know, people victims of sexual assault, we experience trauma for the rest of our lives, but that doesn't matter now, does it? Because the people care more about the rapist's life than the victim. And you know what I'm saying? Like, um, and but then it's like then you have mostly like, you know, black and indigenous people in jail for weed or for, you know, like stupid shit. Like it's just what the justice system gets used for is bullshit. Look at who is our president of the United States. So I don't know. The comment section here really doesn't sit right with me, and it's just, yeah. So the justice system doesn't sit right with me. I'm against basically the police system as a whole. I do believe in defunding the police because I believe in defunding the entire government, going back to tribal sovereignty, and letting each indigenous tribe handle our own justice systems. Um, but yeah, I believe that this is the colonizer way. It's only based on oppression. It's not based on rehabilitation. So I do, you know, I can't just like, I have a hard time just watching a police video without these, um, discussions of my beliefs, because for me it just trivializes, you know, the atrocities of what the system is. But anyway, okay, let's actually watch the fucking thing now. I am so sorry, guys, that I'm like this, but you know, I am the way I am for a reason. Okay.
On October 7th, 2022, police.
Oh shit, my bad, y'all. Okay, so this is October 7th, 2022 is what they said. So this is a mugshot here, real quick, from Tajuana Marie Thomas. She was arrested in Lake County, Florida, right? This is the mugshot. Um, it just showed her birthday. Hopefully that's not too bad to show. But I'm scrolling down just to make sure that it doesn't show anything. Oh, it's okay. So right here it says moving traffic violation, driving while license is suspended and revoked, resisting the officer, obstruction without violence, and drug equipment possession and or use. So this one right here, she put like, okay, so the traffic violation, this one, you know what I'm saying, like she was gonna get no matter what. These two, she kind of put on herself, in my opinion, and we'll see why I think that in this video. Particularly with the drug one, that one really frustrated me. Like, why the fuck would you tell them that? In a lot of cases, in certain cases, if they have a reason to suspect something, they will go through your vehicle. But in a lot of cases, they don't have fucking time for that shit. You know, a lot of situations, police are not gonna do more work than they have to do. Not, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, like, because of so much shit they have to do. Unless they're bored. Unless they are bored, they got time that day. Or at least in New Orleans, because in New Orleans there's just way too much shit happening. You know what I'm saying? Like in New Orleans, I'm gonna put that experience there. The New Orleans. I don't believe a police officer is going through every single vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe the police officer went through my vehicle when I had the DUI. Because of certain situations, you know. But yeah, but when you watch how this charge came on, it's just, it pisses me off because of how stupid she was, in my opinion. And I know I sound ableist there, I probably am, but it's, dude, yeah. And so I believe that this is this case, and that the filing, the court records are also on Unicourt. So yeah, and it's saying here though that the case is pending. I don't know if there's still more to come from that, because sometimes this shit does happen over that big of a time span. But I'm assuming though, because it's been 3 years, it may be closed, but it could just not be updated for public record yet. But I could be wrong. I am just speculating on that one. But yeah, so I know that she was claiming that she was not guilty, apparently. Or it says the description not guilty on the docket. I don't know what that means. Like, if she was found not guilty or she was claimed not guilty, actually, in hindsight of that. Okay, it says here a plea of not guilty. So I'm assuming she's just pleading not guilty there. It looks like there was a sentencing, and it was sentenced as a misdemeanor, so. But yeah. Anyway, okay, sorry. Felt the need to clarify that there. So now let's actually watch this fucking thing. Whoopsie.
On October 7th, 2022, police noticed a car with an illegal license plate stuck to the back window, which led to a traffic stop. Upon arrival, the officer gathered the suspect's information.
Here, what's your first name?
Tajuana.
How do you spell that?
Tajuana.
Is your license out of Florida or Ohio?
Ohio.
Ohio? Okay. All right, just sit tight 1 second. She knows she's not supposed to be driving. She already has gotten stopped for this.
What's she doing in there, too?
Is it just me? We're at the 24-second mark right now. I'm just going to go back real quick. Is she on the phone? Is she on the phone, y'all? Is it illegal to be on the phone when you're driving in Florida like that? Because in Louisiana, you have to have it hands-free. I got a little thingy on my thing. So I can just put my phone in, and then it connects to my Bluetooth, and I can hit answer or hang up on the steering wheel if I need to. But yeah, fucking, I don't know, like, does that, and then, but also, like, why would you, unless you are literally on the phone with an attorney or the person who's gonna bail you out of jail, I think it's not the best decision to be on the cell phone actively when the police walk up, you know what I mean? Or am I wrong for thinking that? That's just interesting to me. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. We were at 24 seconds, and I'm gonna go back to that, and then we gonna play.
So she's gotten issued a citation for this October 1st, so 6 days ago. She got that.
Okay, so mind you, she's already gotten a citation for this exact issue about a week ago, not even, less than a week ago, 6 days. So she's already gotten off with a warning. So that's why they're like, she knows she's not supposed to be doing this, and they have it on record. So she knows. So, yeah.
Attitude too.
Yeah, she first thing as soon as I walked up. No, it isn't.
Oh yeah, no, it's not the fact of the matter of knowledge or not. It's the fact of the matter of our 1015ing on this. Purchase.
Okay, I wonder what 1015 means. I don't know why it's pulling up people's addresses there. That doesn't make sense. It's talking about some type of Florida bill. Okay, this is giving me some California penal code bullshit. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what the fuck 1015 means. The same police code? I don't. Oh, okay. 1015 means prisoner is subject in custody? Oh, alright. Or some of them use it for civil disturbance, apparently? Interesting. The use has declined. Oh, okay. 10-4. Anyway.
She's out here with us, so I'll go grab her so we can go up there, because Birch is going to do a female pat, and then we'll do our inventory of the vehicle and everything.
My proof that I'm valid and my insurance and all that.
I can't read what the... Oh, it's blurred out. They blurred that out for this. Okay. I believe, whatever is there is blurred out. She keeps talking in this video about insurance, about getting in touch with her insurance agency for this situation. And so a lot of people are like, well, what the fuck does an insurance agency have to do with this, whether or not your license is valid? I think her logic that she's trying to use, which still does not make sense, but I think where she's trying to go with it is that I believe you may need to have a valid license to get insurance on the vehicle, right? So that's why she's trying to act like, see, I have insurance, and you can't get insurance without a license. But where they're basically being like, fuck you, stupid bitch, is like, you could have gotten your insurance before your license was suspended. You know what I'm saying? And so that doesn't necessarily reflect whether or not you have a suspended license. You know what I mean? So they're basically like, yeah, we don't give a fuck about your insurance. We are focused on what your license status is, not that. Those are separate. Like, because they really only give a fuck about your insurance if you're actually in a wreck, in my opinion. I mean, they do check it for the legalities when anytime you're pulled over, like, is your insurance active as well? That does matter to a point. But, like, if they're talking to you about your license being expired or suspended or not, then that doesn't matter. Because it's not indicative of whether or not your license is up to date necessarily. You know what I'm saying? It's just more of an indicator of whether or not you previously could prove you had a license, And obviously they know that. Otherwise you wouldn't have a license to have gotten suspended or expired, so.
I just wanted to make sure you guys.
Well, go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me.
For what?
Step out of the vehicle for me, and I'll explain everything to you. Step out.
Another thing, when they're like, they're saying step out of the vehicle, and she was like, for what? I don't know the exact law, but I'm pretty positive that unless the police officer is telling you to do something that is unlawful or going to seriously put you in danger, you're supposed to follow their instructions. And if you can prove that you've been like following these instructions, right, and they still treat you like shit, and then you can prove that too, then you have a case. So in certain situations, I believe the concept of just do what the police say is just used as a tool of weaponizing police brutality against people, and I hate that concept. But when it comes to the police trying to evaluate whether or not you're in accordance with the law or hold you accountable for when you are not breaking the law, and you're over here like, well, what would I follow your directions for? It kind of doesn't help you seem as if you're trying to follow the law. You know, it looks as if you are trying to push against their authority. And even though I'm against police authority, at the same time, I'm also pro making it out of a situation as quickly as possible, if I can, when I do have an interaction with them. So, when it comes to situations in which they have an opportunity to arrest me if they want to, then I'm not going to do or say anything that's going to make my case worse. Because you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between me discussing the police brutality or discussing the rates of police abuse, domestic violence, versus me trying to directly antagonize a police officer in the act of doing their job, versus me antagonizing a police officer off duty for basically supporting police brutality. So I got into an argument with a police officer because they were defending the murder of George Floyd. They were supporting that George Floyd should have died, and I was fighting with them. And I ended up saying, the one good thing about you being a police officer is that you might get shot. I did say that to them. I only said that to them after they were basically kind of bragging, in my opinion, and like taking in my the way they were supporting killing people through being a police officer. So, you know, it just kind of snapped out of me. And so I've had times where I've said, you know, I will like if someone is trying to go that far against others, I would be like, well, fuck you, man. Why don't you go die, right? Like, but that's not my default. I would never just be around like, everybody needs to die. What the fuck? You know what I mean? That's, in my opinion, inhumane, and like, what the fuck? That's like no value to life, for example, right? But the reason I'm saying this is, you know, like, at the end of the day, even if I'm against police, and even if I have personally antagonized police officers off duty, there is a difference also between how police are trained on duty and what the law allows, because the law does allow for me to have a certain level of freedom of speech. Like, if the law is allowing a police officer to be excited about killing civilians, then why wouldn't the law allow for civilians to suggest maybe the police officer should enjoy that same fate? You know what I'm saying? Like, so to a point, I can get arguing or expressing, what's the word? Not like defiance, but when you're like standing up against something, I can't think of the word. But when you're trying to like, not revolt, but I guess, I don't know, I can't think of the word, but when you're trying to go up against a police officer, I don't think the moment where they have an opportunity to use the law against you is the time for you to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's about a time and a place of knowing when the law is on your side, because that does, in this society, even if I disagree with it, it does control what your reality is going to become. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's keep going. My bad.
Out of the vehicle now. That's an order. If you don't, I will take you out of the vehicle.
Why are you acting like this over a license plate?
It's not over a license plate. Please step out of the vehicle.
What do you mean?
So, does she not understand the fact that she got away with a warning the first time was like a godsend? Because if maybe I'm wrong, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that if your plate isn't up to date, now, I think you could have like 6-month grace period if I'm not mistaken. But with this 6-month grace period, you also can't have multiple warnings. But there is like a grace period to where it's only a fine. They'll give you the ticket, you have to go to court, but it's not a misdemeanor yet. Or it isn't, maybe it's a misdemeanor, but it's not, they're not going to make you go to jail yet, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's a point where if it's like past a certain time, or if you've gotten multiple offenses, then they're gonna make you go to jail, and they can determine what that multiple is. It could be two. But you know what I'm saying? So that's where it's like she's not understanding the law there. Like, they have the legal right to take her to jail. And you know what I mean? Even if I disagree with that law, if I understand that someone has a law to the legal right to detain me, I'm going to do everything I can to get out of that detainment as quickly as possible. You know what I'm saying? But instead, I don't think she understands, or if she does understand, maybe she just is so entitled that she doesn't think the law applies to her. I don't know. Either she doesn't understand the law at all in these situations, or she's so entitled she doesn't feel that it applies to her. I can't decide. But also, she did get away with stealing money at this point and didn't have to pay it back because of a loophole with the law. So that could explain why she may feel entitled under the law. You know what I mean?
Miss Thomas, please step out of the vehicle. This is your last warning to please step out.
And also, I want to note it right here, they call her Thomas. And so she was Tajuana Thornton, Tajuana Thomas, and Tajuana Oldacre are the names she's been known by. I believe she was born as Tajuana Thornton. And then when she went into foster care, they referred to her as Tajuana Oldacre in documentation, where she had been named for an inheritance, and her mom took out money in her name, and that name was Tajuana Oldacre. And it was also listing her, the Tajuana Oldacre, as an alias for Tajuana Thornton. And so then, with other public records, we were able to confirm in my other live streams that you can go check, that Tajuana Thomas, Tajuana Thornton, Tajuana Oldacre is the same woman. That's all the same person. And also, we found the obituary of her grandmother, which also backed that up, and all of those records. And so, yeah. But that's why, and then she's known by it on social media. She uses a name called the name Harley Quinn. So people call her Harley, Tajuana. She goes by all of these different names. And I know that I go by Deaf Child, Alexis, or Lexi, but for me it makes sense because Alexis is my actual name. Lexi is short for Alexis, duh. And then I'm deaf. I'm hard of hearing. I've been deaf my whole life. So my whole life, every time like they would see like a little deaf child sign, for whatever reason, my family would be taking a picture of me next to it, like, here's our deaf child. And my immediate family, there are multiple deaf people in my family, but whatever. And so, but I'm the only one out of my brothers and sisters. But yeah, and so then became like a thing I did. Every time we saw a deaf child sign, I would take a picture, and that's how it became my logo and all of that. And they would just be calling me Deaf Child. And so that's kind of like, it just became a little nickname for me. But and I just never stopped using it, even though I'm a fucking adult. But whatever, you're always gonna be somebody's child, if you're a human. So you didn't get here by yourself. But yeah, I don't know. So, but it's just weird to me that she goes through so many names. And I've been processing that too, because it's like, it's hard to confirm, like, who is this person sometimes.
Out of the vehicle before I remove you from the vehicle.
I'm not being rude.
Because you're not complying at this point.
I'm trying to ask why do I
I told you I'll
step
explain that to you when you step out of the.
So another thing, she's not, I don't understand where she's going here. If you're actually following the law, if you have no, like, if she did not have a suspended license plate, if everything was good to go, her brake tag was good, everything was good to go, she no suspended license plate, nothing was going on, she was following the law, then I would understand that reaction genuinely. Because if you were really not doing anything and the police officers pull you over and you're just like, what the fuck, man, like, can you at least help me understand why I'm being pulled out of my vehicle, like, because that would feel odd, right? But in this situation, they've already addressed to her that it's a license plate issue. They've already told her that what she thinks is validation is not legal for what she's doing, you know? And so in this situation, it's not about confirming the authority or the reasoning or why. It's about trying to question, in my opinion, like, I don't know, it's not even about questioning it. It's about using questioning in order to try and, like, act like she doesn't need to be involved in all of that. I feel like I'm not processing right and I'm talking too much, so we're gonna watch this thing.
The vehicle.
I don't feel comfortable stepping out of the vehicle.
Okay, please step out of the vehicle. You're being placed under arrest. How's that?
For what?
Driving while license suspended on the first.
My license is not suspended. I just tried to show you that.
So her license is suspended. She was, and so that's my thing. It's like, and to make matters worse, so right here it's saying on October 7th, 2022, police noticed a car with an illegal license plate stuck to the back window. And so when they made contact with the driver, they immediately realized this would not be a routine stop. The driver immediately becomes angry and argumentative. The police are not putting up with her attitude. So that's the thing. So it's multiple violations here. If that's the case, if the reason she got pulled over was she doesn't even have a valid license plate on. So not only is her license suspended, she knew it was suspended, her plate's not valid. And so all of that together, she's really not gonna, it's not about, like, yeah.
Your license still is suspended out of Ohio.
No, I just tried to show you that. I literally
will look at that. Okay, as of right now, you're being detained. How's that?
Are you f***ing serious? My license
out of the
is
vehicle
valid.
now.
I'm calling my insurance agent right now.
Okay,
like right
step
now.
out of the vehicle.
I don't know why she thinks calling her insurance agent is gonna help her with anything. Ooh, I'm gonna be right back, guys. keep going. Basically, I've just been kind of spiraling and rambling. I'm gonna try not to talk too much more as we keep going, because y'all get the fucking point, right? Like, so I know, I'm sorry, but so I got it out the way. Hopefully I've got it out of me now, and we can actually, like, really watch this thing. But yeah.
I'm not stepping out of the vehicle, bro. Please don't touch me. Hey, please don't touch me. Hey, what the fuck?
And again, I'm not taking the police side here. Definitely not taking Tajuana's side here. But what do you think is going to happen if the police tell you they're arresting you and you don't comply with their orders to get out of the vehicle? Do you think they're really going to leave you in there? Like, what? I don't understand. Like, I think, like, why was her mind, like, unable to process she was getting arrested in this moment? I don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it could be from desperation, because I think it's about resources, you know, like if I were to get arrested right now, I might be sitting there for a second unless a public defender could get me out, because I don't have much money. So who the fuck's gonna bail me out? Maybe my dad would. What's up, Dad? My dad might bail me out depending on why. You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't agree with why you got arrested, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna let you sit there. But if he disagrees with why you were arrested, he's gonna be like, okay, let's get you out. But you know, yeah.
Stand up, put your hands on your back.
Put your hands behind your back.
You're now being charged resisting.
I'm not resisting. Are you serious?
You know, I'm surprised that some of her earlier actions didn't count as resisting arrest. Like, if this is how long it took to get there, so you can resist a good bit before they charge you with it, apparently.
I'm trying to show you what is going on. No, please don't touch
I think what's going on is you're getting arrested, my friend.
me. Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me. Please don't touch my phone. I'm recording this situation.
That's fine. I'm putting your phone down because you're now under arrest for resisting.
Please stop. Go. Oh my God, why are you guys like this?
41, you susceptible, it's 10:15.
I just tried to show you that I'm valid.
Okay, but when
I literally just tried to show
you. Because
I feel like Native American TikTok needs to clip this one scene. I just try to show you where I'm valid. Wait, no, I'm fucked up. Actually, speaking of that lineage situation, though, I need to double back on this, because I was in community last night with a couple of Lakota people who were discussing whether or not she was Lakota, and they were discussing, like, if she was, like, where it would have to come from in their community, but they could not confirm if she was, to my understanding. And so I need to double check that I have the correct understanding of what that information was, because there was, like, a lot more to it. Like, they were going in detail about the family history to explain why they came to that conclusion, in my understanding. So I need to make sure that I interpreted that information correctly. But so basically, at this point, I still do not think she has indigenous ancestry that is verified or connected or claimed. But if it turns out I am wrong about that, I'm definitely going to provide an update. But if I don't provide an update, just assume that, as far as I know, she may not be indigenous. But if I find out that she actually is, I'll definitely let you guys know.
Of what? I told you why.
No,
you wanted to know why?
rude.
I told you why.
And I was just, I literally just flagged you guys down to show you my paperwork.
I literally told you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I have been very compliant.
No, when I tell you to step out of the vehicle.
She said she's been very compliant? Okay. Okay, and I have never been a bitch.
When you're not telling a person why, that's illegal.
I told you.
That is illegal.
No,
when
it's not.
Yes, it is. When you don't tell a person why they're under arrest. Are you serious?
Okay.
I literally
Contest in court.
Is there anything on your person I need to be aware about? No. I mean, what do I have on me?
I just have to check before you go to the jail.
Are you serious? You pulled me over.
Was this her first time being arrested? So I've been arrested 3 times. Once there was a female officer on scene, the other 2 there were not. So when there was the woman there, she did the pat down on scene, but when there wasn't, they didn't pat me down on the scene, they just took me to the station and had a woman pat me down there. But yeah, like if you've ever been arrested and not gotten patted down, is that rude? If you've not had a pat down, but you've been arrested, please let me know, because I'm very curious, because this is standard, right? Like, yeah.
Over. Can I please?
Okay, sorry, additional thought. I've gotten the pat down just to go see family members in jail. Have you not had that happen? So.
Please call somebody so they can come get my car.
Be towed.
Please don't. That's my livelihood. Please.
Seriously, turn at the car.
Oh my God.
So that right here could explain why she is freaking out, though. I believe it may be possible because of knowing her situation, and you want to go watch part 1, 2, and 3 on that. I believe that it may be possible that she is in a fluctuating state of housing and may not have that stability, and I believe that her car could have been what was that for her at that moment, potentially. So I believe that that fear of losing her access to everything she had, right there was really like impacting her judgment, I think, potentially. But, or maybe, I don't know, like I'm just trying to logic or reason, but you would think also, like, theoretically, right, if this is your housing, you might want to either not be moving in it, keep it stationary until you get it legal, or find somewhere to park that bitch, or if you keep it up to date. But at the same time, we've seen her past financial issues. I don't know if she had any steady funding or income. And again, I'm somebody who struggles with income, so I'm not ever judging somebody for that. I'm just saying, I think that explains, like, mentally, between her past history and with her family, and between her housing situation, and between her financial situation, and between, I believe, potential entitlement she has surrounding the law, because at this point she had legally gotten away with stealing over $5,000. I believe all of that together had put her in this place here where she felt comfortable to behave this way, in my opinion, potentially. But also, we're about to get to, if I remember correctly, one of the main reasons I wanted to put this on YouTube, like my reaction, was to highlight something where she really fucked up at.
God, you guys are crazy!
No.
Okay, but, and again, I'm against the police, but to call the police crazy for this is wild to me. Because, okay, I'm against the police justice system, I'm against colonialism, and I'm against the oppressorship of our current state. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe in following your word, and honoring agreements, and following ethics, like, you know what I mean? So, I struggle seeing somebody who doesn't seem to respect any form of community, whether that be through the justice system available to us or whether that be through mutual discussion. And so, yeah, and you can look at what I mean by that, particularly my last video when you see how Tajuana here treated an indigenous woman. And I do know, like, because, okay, so I'm mutuals with the video for Mama Kona, whose video I made on the Taina woman situation with Tajuana last time, but I am not mutuals with Kari, who that video was on, that Tajuana was talking about, if that makes sense. So I've heard since then that I understand that certain people within the indigenous community have had their own altercations with Kari, which I understand. But what I want to say also is, even if that is the case, she is still indigenous, you know, and the way Tajuana was speaking to her really does not sit right with me. And it's like, I don't, you know, I'm not sitting here telling any indigenous person to get along or not get along at this point. Y'all can feel how y'all feel, that's valid. But at the end of the day, whether or not we as indigenous people are getting along, when certain fucked up shit is said about one of us, I think we all need to defend each other, because that normalizes how we are all treated, in my opinion. Even if you're a descendant, even if, you know, but that's just me. That's my personal take. Like, you can think what you think or disagree with me. I would love to know your thoughts on that as well if you're Native. But yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
Do you not realize?
You don't comply.
No, I was trying
You made
to
the
comply.
situation worse for you.
I was talking to you.
No.
That's bull.
That's not bull.
It is when you have
Okay.
proof that I'm.
Sorry to open the door.
Can you please let me call somebody to get my truck, please?
No.
That is my only way.
So, you can call somebody when you get to jail, but at the end of the day, this is the procedure. So they're not allowed to let you just make calls at this point. You know, there's procedure to these things, because that type of thing could put them, like, not in this situation. Like, I do believe Tajuana may not be the safest person to be around, but I don't believe she had the physical ability to do anything to hurt the police in this situation, so I don't believe she was like a danger to them. But I'm just saying, like, in general, the reason there's a policy and a procedure that is followed for these situations is because there are cases where people, you know, if they were trying to make phone calls while they're still at the scene, they could be trying to do something dangerous, you know, and things of that nature. And so I feel like to a certain point, I think that sometimes I think when you uphold policies and procedures as one blanket policy, without allowing for individual experiences to shape adjustments to that policy, then you aren't accommodating each experience. And so therefore you could be putting a situation onto something that doesn't fit, and it's not productive. But in other cases, it's like when you are in a situation that could endanger your life, having those policies in place is what could save your life, you know? And so in that situation, I think it's a good thing to have those types of policies in place. And so, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's what it is. And I don't think she seems to understand or respect not only the law, but also policy and procedure as it relates to chain of command and things of that nature, from the police organization, and how that impacts, you know, the actual, like, community. Like, I don't know, I'm processing that. But to me, like, her reaction shows either it's like a complete ignorance of reality, or it shows complete entitlement, because I don't understand how you could be, I believe she, at this point, if I'm not mistaken, she's in her 30s. I think she might be like the same age as me. But yeah, I had pulled up her birthday a minute ago. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Hold on, because I'm curious real quick as to it's, what her age is. I just want to see what her age is real quick. Apologies, y'all. She was born in 1989. Oh, fuck. She's older than... Oh, she's way older than me. Okay, so... She was born in 1989, to my understanding. My brother was born in 88. So, she's got to be like 5 years, older than me. I don't know. But... yeah, so when you look at that, it's like she's old enough to know better, in my opinion, about these situations. Like, I understand, like, just because you're at a certain age, that doesn't necessarily mean you've had experience in the law to understand everything about the fucking law. But to be a grown-ass woman in your 30s and not have a certain level of understanding or respect for these flows, you know, it just kind of like, I feel like it's kind of her infantilizing herself in a way, or it's like a regression of a mental state perhaps, or something. I don't know if that's ableist of me to say. It could be. Like, I'm not negating if I'm problematic, because I know it can be, but there is just like something about this that really doesn't sit right with me in terms of like trying to understand how are you older than me acting this way in a situation where there is definite evidence that you're breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? I understand that the situation really sucks, you know, to lose your vehicle when that is your primary way of life. But at the same time, why would you think that you're more entitled to resources or benefits from the police than the next person, you know? I don't know. Like, there's like a certain level here. There's just like, and then she tries to claim indigenous identity, but what I don't understand is how could you have had that perspective, but you're still here acting entitled? It it seems, in my opinion, to represent more of white privilege, because if she was actually presenting as indigenous, she wouldn't have the privilege to throw a temper tantrum, in my opinion. I think she weaponizes white women's tears in order to behave a certain way, and people let her do a lot more because she's white than they would if she presented as, you know, if she's Native American. I don't think she is, but she claims to be. If she presented that way, like, I think that she wouldn't be able to get away with her current actions, in my opinion, with these police officers. I think this would have gone a very different way if she were not white, in my opinion.
Please! Please! Oh my God, please! I'm begging you! This is my livelihood!
In the vehicle!
I don't live here!
In the
please.
vehicle! Stop making this worse for yourself. You're already getting charged with resisting charge.
All I want to do is call someone to get my vehicle, please!
No, by resisting me and resisting my orders and then trying to pull away from us, I am not going to work with you on that shit. You make my job harder, I am not going to be nice.
Think about why I did, okay?
It doesn't matter why.
Please
I
listen
gave
to
you
me.
a lawful order.
Think about why I did? Why don't you think about why you're getting arrested, my friend? Like, I just...
Order to exit the vehicle.
Please listen. Please listen to me. That's all I'm asking you, please.
Speak. You can say.
I can't hear you. I'm deaf.
In the vehicle while you speak.
Look, I just got out of living out of my vehicle. I just came down here, okay? I just found out that I was unknowingly driving while under suspension. I fixed that shit.
Okay, so here she's admitting she was aware. She's also claiming that she fixed it. However, that's only a legal defense. That's not, so a legal defense in the court of law doesn't necessarily mean that you still can't get arrested for the charge. That means when you go to the court, then you can present that evidence and the court will decide what to do with it. But whenever you are charged with something, the policy is to arrest you for that period so that the police can determine whether or not you are at fault in order to determine if or how or what the correct method for rehabilitation and release into society should be based on the related charge. theoretically, right, is how that's supposed to go, even though we know in reality it's not. But anyway, so with that being said, I don't understand why the fuck would you sit here and admit that you are aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those statements, she thinks she's helping herself because she's claiming that she got it fit, so she thinks that in that moment. But so for example, if I get pulled over and I have a broken tail light and I have my tail light in my car with me, I have a receipt in my car with me, and I can prove that I have an appointment scheduled tomorrow at the mechanic to go get it fixed, the police could still write me a ticket if they wanted to. They might not, because fuck it, they could clearly see I'm gonna go get it fixed anyway, but they could still legally, even if I can prove that I'm gonna go get it fixed, they could still be like, you know what, bitch, fuck you, here's your fucking ticket, and you can go tell the court that. And then you'd have to go to court and submit the evidence, hey, I got my light fixed, right? So there's a procedure here, and the reason being is the police officer's job is not to be the judge, and that's what she's kind of trying to ask him to do. She's trying to ask him to step outside of his scope, and he can't do that. You know what I'm saying? He can only execute. He can't give you those other decisions because it's up to the court system to determine what that decision is going to be. And I think that's where there's also a discrepancy for her. I think she's having kind of a mental breakdown because of her financial stress potentially, and her housing crisis. I think she's just having a mental breakdown, and that's what this is looking like for her. Is it's looking like an entitled, white privileged, crocodile tearing bitch. But I think it comes from her having no support system, no community, no money, nothing. And so part of you wants to feel bad for her, right? Because we've all been desperate. We've all been in situations where the only way we made it was other people helping us. So part of you wants to be like, oh my God, poor baby. However, she's like the white rabbit in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Look at the Girk couple. She stole $5,000 from them. Anyway, okay, I'm so sorry. Let's keep going.
Yesterday. Okay. That's what I was trying to show you, the paperwork, so that way,
it's
because I was told to show you guys paperwork if I get pulled over, and that is what I was trying to do.
Here's the deal, though. When I'm telling you to exit the vehicle, because I have a lawful reason, because on my end...
But you didn't tell me. You can't just...
So, the police, they can tell you to exit the vehicle. So there's steps and procedures. You know what? Let's Google this. So, first they have to establish probable cause. They did that. So when they arrest her, they have to inform her of her Miranda rights. At this point, I will say I don't know if they've done that. And again, I don't like Tajuana, so I would not be sitting here looking for reasons, for Tajuana to be getting out of this. But at this point, we have not seen that happen. We have seen them say that they are going to detain her. But they have not said that, I don't know if they've done this part. So what I do not know is at what point do they need to do the Miranda rights and then discuss the probable cause with her legally. I know that the probable cause must be established, but I do not know legally if that must be communicated to the person that they're trying to arrest or not. I just know it must be established. I know that they can prove that they communicated the probable cause to each other through the video cam footage that we've seen. I know that they can prove that they have proven that they've given her probable cause because they've discussed with her already why they are pulling her over. They've already discussed with her why they're taking her out of the car. They have. So they've technically informed her of what the probable cause is. What I do not know is, does that information of probable cause, is that the same thing as confirming to her what her charges are going to be? Is, you know what I'm saying? Or do they have to do that? I don't know. But what I have not seen is them giving her Miranda rights. I will say that. And she talks way too fucking much. I do feel that they should have already, like, the moment where they took her out of the vehicle and said that they were detaining her, that's where I feel they should have jumped into the Miranda rights situation. And I don't feel that they did that, to my understanding, or if they did, I didn't process it because I was talking way too damn much. But you know what I'm saying? But like, I think that right there, you know, could be a situation that does, like, if it's not in the rest of this video, that could be used against the police in a countersuit potentially. But also, she's older than me, and when you're at a certain point in life, I feel like you should really already know your Miranda rights. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm fucked up for saying that.
Just tell somebody, get out the vehicle.
I can tell you, yes, I can.
No, you can't. That's
Yes.
not. That's illegal.
Okay, have you been a police officer or a lawyer?
Actually, I have plenty of friends who are
Have you?
officers.
Ooh, why would you have friends that are police officers? See, this is why I don't fuck with her. Anyway, I've worked at a few law firms though. And so I just feel like if you are in association with people who are police officers or in law firms, like, you know what it is though? It's always people who know a police officer that act this way, right? Because I've seen like this chick get arrested and she was like, my boyfriend's a police officer. And that's a different video. I don't even know what that was about, so I can't even look it up to tell you, but because I don't remember anymore. But I just remember seeing that one time, right? And but then when you see, but it's different, right? Versus when someone knows they have an attorney on their side, they'll be like, I'm good, my dad's an attorney. I'm good. It's always really funny to me because every time someone's claiming proximity to a police officer, they're like losing their shit. Like, I know the police! But when someone knows an attorney, they're like, yeah, I got an attorney. I think that part is funny. Have y'all ever noticed that? Yeah, honestly, if you are claiming that you're indigenous, the only police officers I want to know that you're friends with is tribal police officers, because those are different. Well, not all of them, but some, you know, tribal police officers are different than your regular police officers. I wouldn't really judge an indigenous person, you know, for connecting with tribal police officers. But what I'm gonna judge is, yeah, indigenous people with people who are claiming indigenous descent, claiming association and proximity to colonial police institutions. That rubs me the wrong way, because that's really not in value alignment with each other.
Have you?
Doesn't matter
Have
if
you gone
I
through
am.
legal
I know
training?
that.
No.
Yes, actually, I have gone through legal training
legal
because I was
training?
going to be a fucking lawyer.
Okay, then you should know when an officer gives you a
I don't understand at what point would she have had money to study law, or what legal training is she referring to? Because to train to be an attorney, to my understanding, you have to go to undergrad, and then after undergrad you have to go to law school. So you have to study, you know, for the bar. You have to pass the bar and everything of that nature. So for me, it's like, I guess there could be training programs for studying the bar, but to my knowledge, wouldn't you also need to prove that you are doing your academic career program to follow that, right? Or am I wrong for thinking that? I don't know if I'm using the right words, but you know what the fuck I mean, right? And so yeah, like, from her history that we know of, I don't believe she would have ever had access to the resources that it takes to become a lawyer, to my understanding, but I could be wrong. But yeah, because I would love to be a lawyer, but I don't know if I have the best mental health to be one. Sometimes I think the fact that I can argue the way I do, though, maybe I wouldn't go to court, but I could do something paper pushing wise. But I don't know. Because I love law, I really do. But Yeah, so I've thought about it and I've seriously looked into it. So that's why I don't believe that she would ever have had the resources to get into law because I've never had it. You know? I even joked one time with a personal injury attorney that I filed a complaint on. One time in court, not in court, what the fuck am I saying? In a meeting, he was basically saying, you know, attorneys can do whatever they want at this law firm. If you want to do what you want, you got to become an attorney. And my response was, so, what I'm hearing is you'll pay for me to become an attorney. Yeah. So, I mean, I've always thought about it, but no, I've never had the money. Or the best mental health.
A lawful order.
You
I
guys can order whatever.
I even told you you're being placed under arrest and you're being
After I already said that.
because you wanted to know why.
I didn't want to get out of the vehicle because cops are hurting people these days.
You wanted to know why, and I told you why, and then you continued to stay in the vehicle.
What do you mean cops are hurting people these days? That's what the whole institution of being a police officer was built on. What? Do you not know the history?
And I was trying to call my insurance agent so you can talk to him.
Therefore, I told you why, and then you continue to resist.
Police officer, why the fuck haven't you given her her Miranda rights yet? Like, is that just not shown in the body camera footage? Because you know what? I will say that in the description here, it does say that this is not the entire situation. Certain parts have been left out, and this footage has been edited. This is not raw. So I will say it is very, very possible they did give her her Miranda rights. They did film it. It just wasn't published. But I will say, because it wasn't published and because I haven't seen it, I'm over here like, when the fuck are you gonna do that? Why haven't you done that yet? Because that part right there could like invalidate a bunch of shit, right? Like, if that didn't happen, couldn't her attorney or her use that in her case? Or am I wrong for thinking that? Like, why am I so caught up on this? But I just feel like it's important.
And not failure to exit the vehicle.
I was trying to call him so you could talk to him.
Put your legs inside.
Please let me call somebody to get my vehicle.
Please.
Put your legs. Please, I am begging you, let me call somebody to get my vehicle.
Put your legs inside the vehicle before I go on the other side and I pull you through the vehicle and make you sit inside.
I am begging you. I just want to call somebody.
Get your legs in the car.
Please.
Legs in the car.
Please, sir.
Legs in the car.
Please.
Legs in the car.
I'm only asking to let somebody.
So everybody, you know, that I've kind of talked to that has seen this footage, they're really making fun of her at this point for how she responds, and how dramatic she is for just getting arrested for something that she could have easily gotten out relatively quickly in comparison to other charges for, you know, and things of that nature. But why I think she's freaking out this much is because, again, this is her housing. She has no income, nowhere low, and she has no community who's going to be there to help her with any of this. So I think that's why she's freaking out, because this situation is something that is going to make it so she can't come back from it, or make it real hard for her to come back from it. And so right before this situation was her arrest case with the couple where she stole $5,000 from them. That's already happened at this point. Then this happened. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, we know that her housing situation has been very tumultuous, and we know that, you know, she doesn't really have a stable sense of identity or community or anything of that nature, which really sucks. It's really sad to see, but I think that's why she is this way.
Get my vehicle, please.
Your car's being towed. I've already called the wrecker.
Why would you do that, please?
Because you've already tried to freaking resist on us. That's why. Not listening.
No, because
legs in the car.
You're arresting me for some false shit.
For
And again, that is standard. They are just following their policies and procedures. It's not any, you know what I mean? She's asking for special treatment for them to treat her better or differently than other people that would be charged with these things. But that's where I feel like she's, again, got this sense of entitlement that she doesn't understand or isn't processing what is occurring to her.
Driving a license suspended with knowledge and resisting arrest.
No, my license
legs inside the vehicle.
Suspended. I was trying to show you that.
Legs inside the vehicle.
I even flagged you down. Please let someone.
Place your legs inside the vehicle.
Please let somebody.
Place your legs inside the vehicle, or I'm going to pull you to the other side.
God damn it, I was muted. Motherfucker. I was just sitting there saying that I did not rewind this back. This is happening. She's just repeating the same, they're repeating the same fucking bullshit because she won't fucking do what she needs to do. Like, what the hell? It's like a toddler with a temper tantrum. And I don't mean to infantilize people, because you know what? Maybe I should have done that, because I don't like when people infantilize mental health breakdowns. But in this situation, it's like escalated past that to me somehow. And I'm wondering if that's because I'm projecting biases against her from parts 1, 2, and 3.
Out of the vehicle and ensure your legs are inside.
Just close the car door. There's oncoming traffic, okay?
Ma'am, really quick, is there anything officers are gonna find in that vehicle? Because it's better that you say so now. It's better that you say so now.
Anything. I mean, I got stuff in my book bag just because I smoke weed, but I haven't been.
So, this right here, did they read her Miranda rights? That's why I'm asking, because you know you have the right not to self-incriminate, right? Because even if they say they're going to search it, sometimes they don't always search everything. I'm wondering if her behavior with the escalation of this would be probable cause for them to search the vehicle, because I know in New Orleans, they don't fucking search every fucking vehicle for every fucking person they arrest. Nobody has time for that shit. You know what I mean? And also, everybody, they need a warrant to search a trunk. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. They need a warrant to search the trunk. Hey, guys. So, just, and then, so why the fuck are you just like, I don't know. And there's no need to sit there and tell people that you smoke weed. And what's even ridiculous, the thing she had in there was a grinder. That grinder could be for coffee. I grind coffee. That could be for tobacco. Grind tobacco leaves, you know? A grinder in and of itself does not necessarily indicate that there's illegal substances in a vehicle. Grinders are used for multiple things, okay? But she is not very bright. She self-incriminates herself, in my opinion.
Smoking weed. There's no weed in there. I just need somebody to please get my vehicle, please. Please,
So,
I have no other transportation.
Is it the book bag that she's looking at right now that has weed in it?
No, that's my wallet. That's what I told her to get. I just need my phone and my wallet, please.
Okay, but there's weed in your book bag.
No, there's not weed in my book bag. There's a grinder. That's
Okay,
it.
there's a grinder, but
So first, instead of telling them she had a grinder, she was telling them, I smoke weed. So, you know what I mean? That's giving them the probable cause to search the vehicle now. If they didn't have probable cause to search her vehicle before, based on her behavior, which I think they could have used that as a reason probably, now they definitely fucking do. You know what I'm saying? And so there are things of this nature where the more she talks, the less she looks good for herself. And I know sometimes I say a lot of shit that people may not think looks good for me, but whenever I say things, I have a reason for saying it. I'm seeing if I can trust a situation. I'm trying to get somebody to understand the way I think, or I'm trying to understand or process something, or discuss my understanding, right? So I can understand based on my own history why people may think I talk too fucking much. But there's also a difference between just being somebody who talks a lot versus somebody who says too much with what you say. Because you can say one sentence and be talking too much if you're saying the wrong things. You know what I mean? You get what I mean? Like, there's a difference between talking a lot and talking too much about what you shouldn't be saying. I don't know. That either made sense or it didn't. But, yeah.
they're not going to find anything else?
No. I just, please let me call somebody to get my vehicle, please.
She's suspended, and we issued her a citation for without knowledge literally 6 days ago.
She's driving again.
Yep.
That's okay.
Can you please let me call my insurance guy, please?
I just want it noted they're laughing at her, literally. The best thing she could have done 6 days ago is get out of that state immediately. If I were her, if I were in a situation in which I could not immediately fix my vehicle, that I had gotten pulled over for that, I would have gone to a different state. You know why? Because some bitches ain't checking across jurisdictions for that shit.
And That is all I have, sir.
So
Please.
were you on this form?
I was on my way to
License
work.
doesn't show up
Oh my God.
for the class section. It says class the operator.
Yeah, just do the operator. Because it's E slash. Her ID's in her
my
wallet.
phone.
Missing one.
Her ID's in. We grabbed your.
Give him my phone.
We grabbed your ID and wallet and your phone.
Can you
It's all
give him my phone so he can call my insurance agent? Please.
Okay.
I will give you the code to my phone so you can call my agent.
I will say though, if they read her Miranda right, and then they used the whole, if you tell us everything, or it'll be worse for you if we find out on our own line, that's still problematic, but it's not completely illegal because they've already told her that it's going to be used against her, right? Versus if they just used that line without giving her Miranda rights, is that not entrapment though on that aspect of those charges? I don't know, because fuck Tajuana, but like considering the general normalization of that strategy, like let's talk about that for a second. You know what I mean?
Agent, please.
Hold on. Your car's getting towed. You're going to jail, regardless.
I'm trying to show you I'm innocent, and you're taking me to.
And that right there is where she's messing up. The police can't determine whether or not you're innocent. Only a judge can.
Jail for nothing.
Because you still resisted. That's the issue.
No, you said I was resisting because I was trying to show you I'm innocent, and you didn't like that.
Because they cannot determine whether or not that evidence is valid. That's up for the courts to do. Their only job is to arrest you. That's what she's not understanding. And so when she's not complying with that because she was violating the law, that's how we're in this feedback loop. Once we're at this point, there's no arguing with the police to change their minds. That's not their job. They half the time, in certain cases when it comes to traffic stops, they did decide to pull you over or arrest you or something like that because that's part of what their job is. But in other parts of it, like in other relationship to that aspect, they don't even really get to make the final call in certain situations. They are basically deployed by their commanders and they are executing on what they are told to do. In a lot of situations, like if it's not a traffic stop and you get arrested outside of that scope, then in that situation, like they are only there to arrest you because someone sent them, not because they just decided to come to your fucking house. You know what I mean? And fuck the police, I'm against them, blah, 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 blah. But like there is like a certain level to where this isn't up to that police officer anymore. Like now that we've hit this point, it's going to the courts. And where it was like, if 6 days ago, that was her Hail Mary. That's when she needed to get the fuck out of Florida. But I don't think she's processing, either get the fuck out or actually fix that shit and like not drive the car until you have the updated plate on it. You know what I mean? Like, or your license. I can't remember. Was it her license tag expired or something? I think it was something. She had an illegal plate and she had a suspended license. Both of those, if I'm understanding correctly from not only the video but also the video description. So between those two things, like, I think she knows what she did, but this is just evidence of how she does not take accountability in my understanding. Because how are you knowing these are the cases and still acting this way? Oh shit, god damn it. I did not mean to do that. The fuck? That's really annoying. Okay, well where were we? We were somewhere over here, I think. Okay, I'm just gonna start it right here. I don't know, my bad, y'all.
No.
She's driving again.
Yep.
That's okay.
Can you please let me call my insurance guy, please? And please don't tow my car. That is all I have, sir.
So
Please.
were you on this form?
I was on my way to
License
work.
doesn't show up
Oh my God.
for the class section. It says class the operator.
Yeah, just do the operator. Because it's E slash. Her ID's in her
We're
wallet.
missing one.
Her ID's in. We grabbed your.
Give him my phone.
We grabbed your ID and wallet and your phone.
Can you
It's all
give him my phone so he can call my insurance agent? Please. I will give you the code to my phone so you can call my agent, please.
Hold on.
That's like the stupidest thing you can do. Why the fuck would you give a police officer a code to your phone? This lady is not very bright. I you know what?
Your car's getting towed. You're going to jail, regardless.
And I'm trying to show you I'm innocent, and you're taking me to jail for nothing.
Because you still resisted. That's the issue.
No, you said I was resisting because I was trying to show you I'm innocent, and you didn't like that.
And we watched you, unfortunately.
That don't matter. I had my phone in my hand trying to call my insurance agent. It's recorded as well.
That's fine. She's innocent. Her license is good. No, honey.
You know what? Should have some kind of proof that it is.
She's trying to say my insurance agent sent me it. Insurance agents don't have that stuff.
No.
Insurance agent shows you have insurance. It's out of state, so I have to.
What I don't understand also is if she did actually have a valid license plate, she would have some legal receipts or proof for those transactions to provide. But she never mentions that once. She's only talking about insurance bullshit. And I believe that that's because she may not have had any actual evidence to back up, you know what I'm saying, her claim there.
Go off what I got from the computer because that's the most trustworthy thing. I've had so many people lie to me before. You can let them know when you get over there.
Numbers memorized. Can you
Your phone's.
And I will recognize that there are issues and loopholes in that policy procedure because it always is possible that perhaps somebody hasn't updated something yet or something like that. So when you find it in the computer records, it's not the correct information yet. However, that would still just be a legal defense, and it would get her out of jail and everything of that nature, and help her get things back. Now, it wouldn't take away the towing situation, but at the end of the day, it would get her out of jail and get those charges off her record, you know.
Your phone and all that's going with you.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to call
Yes,
people.
they'll let you get phone numbers out of the phone, and they'll let you call people there.
Like, dude, I was trying to show you the paperwork
You just gotta hope your phone is charged.
that they give you.
Tajuana was charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting without violence, and driving while license suspended.
So yeah, and that is the summary of that situation there. Or not the summary, that is the entirety. Now I'm going to try and give you a rough summary, because we've already been here for a long time. That's my bad, y'all. Basically, in this situation, I feel like it kind of shows you her behavior and how she treats the police, how she weaponizes, I feel, white woman tears to try and act as if she shouldn't be accountable for her behavior because she's a white woman in distress, you know? All of that doesn't rub me the right way because, like, there are a lot of us out here who are struggling, but we don't act that way, you know what I'm saying? And where she's just basically being over here like, I know police officers, I'm friends with police officers, that really rubbed me the wrong way too. But yeah, I just don't understand her. I don't understand, that reaction, but I just wanted to process it better because I think it kind of does show a reflection of, does she have the ability to take any sense of accountability at all? And I think we can see from that video that maybe she does not, which is kind of concerning. I haven't processed, you know, in terms of like, what would it take for someone like her to rehabilitate into society, you know? In a good way. I think it might, like, part of it is that she needs access to resources she's never ever had before. She's never had funding, housing, community that is stable, in my opinion. And I think that if she did have those things, she could work on herself. However, I also feel that it is because of her actions and who she is, anybody that would try to do that would be putting themselves in danger to do so. So it would take the right set of people who can handle her mental health issues and have the extra resources to burn on her because, you know, she would require a lot of resources to rehabilitate, in my opinion. I feel that, I don't know what that is. So I just feel that because of her history, because of her family history, because of her financial income and all of that, she's not in a place where she's able to work on herself or grow at this point. And yeah, I think it would take her, finding a job and working herself perhaps to get to that point. Um, but also in this economy, like when we look at this society, how much harder it is to get jobs and things of that nature, I do feel for her because, like a lot of these situations, they want you to have like an address and bank accounts and things of that nature. Like how are you gonna get paid and where are you gonna send your documents to and all of that, and you have to prove who you are and everything. And can she fully do that? Like does she still have access to all of her documents? Like, so there's just like so much that has fallen through from her that she would really need a good support system to get back on top of it. However, when people have tried to do that for her, she, in my opinion, has been known to misuse their trust, abuse their trust, take advantage of them, and then jeopardize their housing. So not only is she keeping her housing in jeopardy, she's jeopardizing the people who try to help her. So yeah, it's a vicious cycle, I feel, and I don't know if she's gonna get out of it until she can, work on herself. I don't know if they read the Miranda rights to her. We just didn't see it in the video. But if they did not read the Miranda rights to her, and then they were trying to like convince her to tell her more information, I feel that could be a form of entrapment, though. I will say that. But yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. Fuck the police, fuck Tajuana, and your hair looks great today. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. And yeah, bye. Thanks for watching. Join the loyalty program at noladeathchild.com/loyalty and check in during live streams to get points for rewards.